With that down, let's move on to our third main topic today. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Ewan Callister, who writes, so, Fast 9 and A Quiet Place 2 both suffered delays due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now I'm seeing a lot of talk about Black Widow being the next major release to be delayed. Do you think this is likely, or will Disney/Marvel stick to their guns and keep its May release date? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, in the flood in the last number of days of things that have been delayed, obviously James Bond was the first big high-profile one to make that move. Then Vin Diesel said, we're not moving Fast 9. 48 hours later, they changed they moved Fast 9. Of course, now we've got Mulan we just talked about, New Mutants, Quiet Place 2, my most anticipated film of the year. Rob, now that you and me both had our most anticipated films of the year movies moved. So there you go. So that's the situation we're in. Conspicuous by its absence in any of these discussions, though, is the not too far off Black Widow. They did not announce the moving of Black Widow. I can tell you this, I can tell you for fact that there have been very high-level discussions about moving Black Widow at Disney, so I can tell you that. But as of this point, they have not made a decision to move it. Now, with the speed at which decisions are being made today, 10 minutes after this show ends, we could hear an announcement that they're moving it. But they did not lump that in with the announcements of they're moving their other films, including the Mulan one, which I just got an email about. So they did not lump that in. Black Widow, I think, for them, represents a much bigger investment. I mean, Mulan is obviously a huge investment, but I mean, with the China thing already being what it is and all that kind of stuff as well, this is their MCU. This is the MCU to them. And so I think they're going to want to approach this with even more caution than they do with the other ones. And I think they know that, listen, we don't have a lot of time, but when it comes to Black Widow and it comes to the release date of Black Widow, we've got a little bit of time here. So instead of us jumping the proverbial gun and pulling a trigger on something that maybe we won't have to do, let's be a little bit more patient and let's see what happens. If we see things turn around, like we're starting to see in certain parts of the world, but it feels like right now we're still on the uptick instead of the demilitarizing, if you will, of this whole situation. But if for whatever reason we start to see things turn around, then Disney, they haven't pulled anything out. They haven't let the dominoes start to fall. They're still in an okay position. They can move forward. If it doesn't, then no harm, no foul. They can announce at any time that they want to move the date. So I don't think Black Widow not being announced as one of the films moving is a sign that, oh, then they're just going to keep it. I think they very well still could move it. I just see Disney as wanting to be patient, keep their options open at this point, and then they'll make a decision as they get a little bit closer to it. Aaron, you're seeing this whole situation starting to play out. Do you think Disney has already made up in their mind? Like, do you think it makes sense to say, hey, if they're announcing the delay of Mulan and New Mutants, if they were going to delay Black Widow, they just would have thrown it in there? Or do you think they're just keeping their options open? Do you think it's inevitable they're going to delay it? How are you seeing this?
What was the original release date?
It's May, is it not?
Yeah, it's May.
It's May.
Yeah, they're holding on. They're waiting to see how everything plays out. Obviously with Mulan, that's supposed to open next weekend, not this coming weekend, but May 27th,
yeah.
March 27th. And then with New Mutants, that was supposed to open the weekend after. I think right now there's no reason for them to make an announcement. Why would they need to? How does that affect anyone's lives other than the people that are directly involved with the movie and obviously the theaters at some point? But, I think we still have time. As you said, decisions are being made moment by moment. I mean, I just got a text message, the movie that I'm supposed to be doing, that we were literally just saying will probably get pushed. I just found out because of the rain, I'm shooting on Monday. So I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Oh, so they're moving forward.
They are moving forward.
I'm very excited for
I'm
your
very
movie,
excited too. So we're going to have some really fun stuff to talk about on Thursday's show next week. But that being said, I could get a text message tomorrow saying, oh, never mind. We really don't know. This is uncharted territory. We've never been in this situation before. The studios have never been in this situation before. And obviously, as you established, Black Widow is a big property for them. And so to go ahead and make a premature announcement of we're going to push it to when? We don't know. We're going to see how things play out for the rest of March, how things play out into April. And if by the beginning of April, this thing has not slowed down or come to a place where people feel comfortable going back to the movie theaters, then they'll make an announcement. But I think it's at this point premature for them to say anything about it.
Rob, you're seeing this whole situation. Were you surprised when they announced the list of films that they're closing, that Disney specifically said they're closing? They didn't include Black Widow in that. Do you think they're going to stay the course, just release it? Do you think they're just playing their cards close to the... How do you see this working out?
I think they're waiting to see what's going to happen. They're 45 days out. I mean, if this, because of the world's precautions, and if this thing burns out pretty quickly, there's going to be a lot of open slots for summer movies that need to be filled quickly. And I think Black Widow, they've really ramped up the marketing campaign. They've dropped a new trailer. They've got their momentum going into this. The tracking is huge on it. And 45 days is a long time. I mean, remember 45 days ago, nobody had ever heard of this virus. So they're waiting to see what's going to happen. And they've shown that they can pull a movie from release in a little over a week if they have to. So I think they're, like you had said, Aaron, they're probably going to play their cards close to their vest and hold off and see. There's a huge investment in this movie. It's Marvel coming back after the whole Infinity Saga is over. Lots riding on it. They want to make sure that they give it the best opportunity to succeed that it can get. So I think they're waiting. I think it'll probably end up being canceled. But I think we'll find out mid-April. There's no reason for them to make a decision now.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that speaks to that is the fact that you look at what happened with Universal and Fast and Furious 9. They move the release date and they announce the next release date, not until 2021. I don't know why. But Disney announces they're pulling Mulan, New Mutants, Antlers off the release schedule, and they're not announcing another release date. So they're keeping their options open. I think that's speaking to what you guys are saying. I think that kind of leans into that. Question here is, guys, what do you think is going to happen with Black Widow? Do you think we're just going to have to wait and see how this whole thing rides out? If they move it, how far do you think they're going to move it? Is this the right move? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.